Okay, we should be live now. Just give it a few seconds here and then I will start us off.
We are live.
Yay, should be live now. Just give it a few. Okay, are we ready? All right, welcome to the Virgin Authors Show. Live now. Oh, somebody has a delay here. Is anybody? Few seconds here, and then I will start us off. So who's got a sound on?
It was me.
You guys, I'm like, wait, you're killing me. Let me start over. Welcome to the Virgin Authors Show. We are three friends who struggle with technology and our volume, and we are bonded by our love of writing. We are struggling to navigate the publishing world. Writing can be a really lonely profession, and we've decided that supporting other authors along the journey is just as important as our daily word count. My name is Mandy McGuire, and I am a Virgin author.
Hey, Mandy. I'm Jana Vandelar, and I'm a Virgin author, and I'm usually the one that screws up on the volumes, so we're sorry.
So yay, I took over for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Lissa Reese, and I am definitely a Virgin author and technophobe. But I would like to introduce our guest. This is KK Allen. She is a USA Today best-selling author who writes heartfelt and inspirational contemporary romance stories. KK is a native Hawaiian who graduated from the University of Washington with an interdisciplinary art and sciences degree. She currently resides in Central Florida with her ridiculously handsome little 10-year-old dude who owns her heart.
Yeah.
KK's publishing journey began in June of 2014 with a young adult contemporary fantasy trilogy. In 2016, she published her first contemporary romance, Up in the Treehouse, which went on to win the Romantic Times 2016 Reviewer's Choice Award for Best New Adult Book of the Year.
Yay,
Yay.
that's amazing.
With KK's love for inspirational and coming-of-age stories involving heartfelt narratives and honest emotions, you can be assured to always be surprised by what she releases next. And she releases constantly.
Yes. God.
Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
We're so honored, honestly. This is a thrill because, you know, you're just amazing. You guys have to check out her website. If anybody's joining in, or if you're looking at it later, kkallen.com, right?
That's right.
Yeah. It's really amazing, and follow her because she's so much fun.
Aww.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Then we just got a message. So
Yeah, please share with us some of your tips for how you have managed this.
Oh,
This massive self-publishing career you have. We want all the juice.
all the juice.
yeah, I'm writing notes. I've got notes.
I did come up with 5 tips. So I can be very long-winded and I will try not to be. But I will talk with the first thing that I think has helped me so much on my entire journey from start to finish. It's something I've had to work on, kind of cultivate all these years, because I started publishing in 2014, and it's really just been, now that I'm doing it full time, I would say planning and goal setting is my biggest asset. So I not only plan for like my day, my week, my month, I plan for my year, and then I have future goals and all kinds of goals in between. So I feel like planning is like something I start my day doing. I finish my day thinking about what I'm going to do the next day. And it's just very important for me to stick to that plan, like to a T, if I can. But I think it's also important that I add pad time for myself, so I'm not too crazy about finishing that stuff, because writing can be very stressful, especially on deadlines. And we all, as a self-published author, you give yourself that deadline, but you have that deadline set with like editors and cover designers and all these people. So it's like these people are waiting for you to finish. So that's why my plans are so important to me. That's why I make sure I have a little bit of pad time in there to kind of help me work through those things. But, without goals, it's like, what are you driving yourself for? And so I just try to keep them realistic. But then I've got my big dreams in there too, and my big goals that I'm like, okay,
Yeah. So tell us, how detailed are your like daily and weekly goals?
My daily goals are very to a T. It's like I end my night and I think, okay, what do I have to accomplish tomorrow? If I'm on a deadline writing, it's usually that's the first thing I'm going to focus on, how many words I have. I don't know if you guys use any writing software or anything, but I use Pacemaker to help schedule out my books for at least a year. So I know exactly what I'm writing every single day.
Wow.
I know what days off are. I know what days I'm going to write more, what days, and I can adjust those every day to help me meet goal. But so I'm pretty locked into, if it's a writing goal, I'm locked into this is what it's going to be. And then after that, I do my admin tasks and everything. So like if I have stuff that I need to get to my cover designer, if I have stuff I need, to work with my agent on like audio releases and stuff like that. It's just little things that I have to get done every day to meet all these little deadlines. But writing is always my number one priority.
But you right now have the fantastic ability to focus all your time. You are a full-time writer because you have become that successful by now. But those of us who still have like day jobs.
She's got a 10-year-old, so that's
well, gosh, yes. But I mean, do you remember what your planning looked like back before you published?
Yes, I was less organized so now I'm allowed to be organized because it's my day job. So I can say, okay, you're 8 to 5. If that's what you want, if you're a night person, you can choose for your writing schedule to be at night. That's totally fine. And there are days when I'm like, I'm not writing today. I'll write tonight because that's just how I feel. But yeah, when I was working full time, my child was a newborn and he wasn't a newborn. When I started writing, he was about 4. So, or no, he was 2 because I started in 2018. So anyway, but yeah, I would kind of just write whenever I had the time. And I think that's what a lot of authors do when you're working full time, especially if you're a single mom, like you're just finding the time whenever. So I would come home, I'd pick him up, I'd feed him dinner, get him to bed, and then I'd write until 2 in the morning. I don't know. And then I'd wake up, take him to school, go to work, write some more. And then if like my mom had him for a day, that would be my writing day. So I remember a lot of Saturdays were my writing days, and I would get a lot of words those days. I was so motivated to write, even more than I am now, because like I wanted to be a full-time writer so bad. So my goal was always to get out enough books and feel confident enough to quit my day job one day. So yeah, I am fortunate
Getting goals all the way through
on that. So yeah.
Cool.
So wait, how long have you been writing? Because your little boy's only 10 and you've got this many books out. And how long? What?
Writing my whole life. I've been writing my whole life. And the first book that I put out was a young adult fantasy book. I never even knew I was going to write 2 more, even though it had a cliffhanger. So don't.
Right.
Like, okay, I'll publish this and see what happens. So I cleaned it up because I'd already written it.
Right.
So I tried to work with, and back then I didn't even have it edited. I tried, but I was like, $50, that's too much money.
Right. I know.
So terrible, don't do that. But like I did that. So, and I published it, and then my friends read it and they would email me and be like, hey, did you know there's this mistake? So finally I got embarrassed enough where I was like, oh my God, I need to go find an editor. I have got to pay somebody to look at this book. And I did. And I cleaned it up. And then I wrote 2 more because I became so addicted to publishing and all the steps involved. I love self-publishing.
Huh. But you did say agent. I'm noted agent. Sorry for interrupting. But so you have your own agent on top of this? I never had a self-publisher.
Mostly helps me. She helps me with audio rights and stuff, which you can yourself. A lot of, and honestly, if you have the money to hire your own audio person, you end up making way more money doing it that way. So, I mean, I would definitely say do most of it yourself if you can, but I work with HRM Hirschman Rights Management, and she has been great to me for years, and so I never have a problem getting audio deals through her. So I just keep working with her, and
She only does the audio portion of it. She doesn't do
she
any of
does
the
foreign. I actually started working with her because I got a Polish deal for Up in the Treehouse.
Oh, yeah.
So she'll do foreign, but she's mostly audio. For me, she's mostly audio.
That's cool.
My sister-in-law does audio recordings for books, and she's getting all the residuals, but she does work with some authors. Just a side note for self-published people. Sometimes she doesn't charge, and she does it, and then it's a contract where she gets the residuals, like I said. And so it depends, she figures it out based on how she thinks the book is going to do. So she's a freelancer type of thing too. But yeah, so in case, yeah.
It's a good gig. And I know like Audible has a program where you can go in, and ACX, I want to say is the name. And you can find narrators there if you're self-published. It doesn't have to cost you a cent, or narrators will ask for money up front, and then they'll take some of the royalties. I started doing it that way, but I don't like giving up my royalties anymore.
Yeah, you're so powerful. I know
You've
you're
learned the lesson.
yeah, I'm talking about the virgin authors.
Evolve. Yeah, I guess I don't know, and I still don't feel like I'm learning fast enough, honestly. So I could seem like this to you, but to me, I'm just a big mess.
No,
So
bow down to you.
You're a hot mess for sure.
Before we got on, we were all talking to all the people out there, but we were talking about how great she is with social media. So follow her on everything, because she's amazing. So TikTok, Facebook, all of that. I'm not even very good at Instagram. So yeah, I mean, just follow her, because she's got great things. Okay, so number one tip was planning goal setting, right?
Okay.
social media is actually my next tip.
Okay.
So, I mean, and I think we talked about a little this earlier. I started this way. I focused on one social media at a time, because there's so many different platforms. You kind of don't know where to put your time, and your time is very important in self-publishing. You have to know how much time you're going to be spending on that every day. At least I do.
Right.
And for me, like today, it's much different than it used to be. Like when I started, I was Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And that has transitioned. And now it's Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Okay.
And it's like I have a reason for choosing those places. Instagram is just where I have built over time like a good following. And I love the engagement with bloggers. There's very creative people on Instagram. They take beautiful pictures. You can, it's two-way communication. And I love that. And it's easy to share things for other people on Instagram. It's just like a very great tool. And plus now they're doing reels like TikTok.
Yeah.
So the video stuff is very eye-catching. And if you can get comfortable doing that sort of thing, it's really fun. And it's a great way to build an audience and to sell books.
Okay.
You reach readers that you would never reach on Facebook. Facebook is primarily people that I've built a following with like my street team and my reader group. Like I really just go to Facebook to talk to my reader group, and I hang out with them, and I ask them questions, and I give things away sometimes, and we just have fun. So
Very cool.
Do you do the, okay, this is what I do.
okay.
Nobody cares, right? But like, okay, I'm like, look, I'm wearing a blue shirt today, and then I do it for Instagram, TikTok, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Same thing on all of them.
Post for all your different medias, social media.
Oh,
No.
And I used to try automating, and I don't like that. It feels, I don't know. I couldn't like that long enough. So what I do on Facebook, I do post on there every morning. Just something kind of generic, like something that can be repurposed by like my, just something I've maybe I'm selling a book, or there's a freebie that I have. So I just want to remind people about it. But then later in the day, if I post to Instagram, that does get fed to that Facebook page. So that helps me eliminate one thing.
Right.
And with my TikTok videos, I'll make them on TikTok and I will repurpose them and put them on Instagram. So
I'd love to know how many hours a day or week it takes you to make all these cool TikToks.
So
I mean, honestly, your makeup is gorgeous on them all. I mean, it takes me 2 hours to do the makeup.
That's why I only do them maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, because I don't wear makeup. Like,
it seems like you have a lot of them. You only do one TikTok a week.
Yeah. So I'll make a bunch in like a day.
Mhm.
Because I'm writing. I am writing on the couch or in my office, or I'm shipping books, or I'm hanging out with my kid. So I very rarely, if I shower regularly, but not every day. But I do not put makeup on.
I'm looking away. I don't want to look you in the eye about my life here, but
But I mean, only if I'm doing a TikTok, it's really my inspiration to put makeup on, because I'm like, I gotta look.
well, our life is so solitary that you don't really need to, and so you do like about 5 in one day, or do you do?
Yeah,
I just want to know details.
Yeah, I'll do a bunch, or like I'll do one and do it like 5 times, and then I have 5 drafts and then all I have to do later is add the text. And I'm very random. There are way more organized people than me on TikTok, and way more talented people than me. People, the key to TikTok and Reels and all that is to know your books, know your audience, and figure out your hooks.
Mm-hmm.
And once you figure out what that audience that is coming to you on TikTok, like what they want and what is selling your books, like you just keep pumping that out. You tell it 100 different ways. And I'm still working on that, to be honest.
You're good. You're very good.
I am not great at selling myself. Like do you want the book? Like, it's really good, I promise. But
So why don't you tell us kind of tell us about some of your books. What type are they? What are your biggest sellers? Just give us a little more info about your books.
Yeah,
okay.
really. Definitely want that. We're running out of time.
Well, if I were to describe KK Allen, I am an emotional, angsty, like storyteller. I really dig into the heart of my characters. I love flawed characters that grow throughout a story. I love character arcs. And I'm like very detailed and descriptive when I write and stuff like that. So it's very like beautiful, but yet steamy and romantic. But I always have that slow build, because I cannot build a romance without really like making sure you are putting in the work as a reader to get to your happy ending. So I think as a storyteller, that's kind of who I am. And I write a lot of contemporary romance and new adult romance. So I like Up in the Treehouse is my bestseller. Mm-hmm. It's that the one that won the award like back when I first wrote it, which was incredible. And it only won that award because I wanted an editorial review for that book, because I wanted to know, it was my first romance that I had written. I was like, am I even good at this? So I submitted it for an editorial review. And it was a total accident. I had no idea that there was even an award that could be given. Like, I had no idea.
So it wasn't like a contest or anything? Or?
It was nominated, and it was like, there were awards that like Colleen Hoover have won, and like Alessandra Torre, and like Molly McAdam. Like, it was crazy. Like, all these people that I loved and read and was obsessed with. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like what is happening? So it was incredible. Yeah. But I was very new though, so I feel like I won that award.
Virgin. Were you a virgin? I was a
terrible virgin.
See, we
Was.
can all be KK someday. Okay, go ahead.
You know, it's funny you say that. Like, I write a lot about capturing the edge of innocence. So like, I love tapping into like your younger self almost, and how like that's hindered you growing up in life and love. And so that's kind of in all of my novels. But I've written romantic suspense. I've written books like Up in the Treehouse that are just very like drama, emotional, like second chance romances.
Yeah.
And then, but they're all kind of angsty too. So like, because you really get that gut wrenching, you know, like want to beat your characters up kind of vibe.
Nice.
I mean, your TikToks are like that. So I'm like, I you know, I've got to grab a couple books of yours, and I can't believe I haven't. I've been just trying to focus on my writing, and you know how that is.
Yeah.
But, okay, but we need other tips too. I'm pages here. Go ahead.
Number 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
3.
I know. So I keep looking down because I'm taking notes.
Do you want another?
Yes.
Okay. So my next one would just be to build a strong team. So like I have a couple assistants, but like, I don't know. I like to do mostly everything on my own. At least I try. Like, I want to be the one talking with my readers. Like, I want to be the one just engaging and stuff like that. However, a lot that goes into a day that people do not realize. Like, just building a newsletter will take me hours.
Yeah.
And that's an entire day that I could be writing. So Lindsay, my lovely, lovely friend, like, she is the one who she kind of goes through my social media posts, and she takes the things that I say and she'll kind of plop them in there, and then I can rework it and send out my newsletters. And that way I know I'm engaging with my readers through my newsletter once a week. They've subscribed to me. I had to get over the fear that I'm bothering them.
That's a good tip right there.
Yes.
What is it that you're a fear of bothering the readers? Is that?
Yeah. I was
The people on your newsletter.
Like, if you email them too much, if you see those unsubscribes, you're like, oh my gosh, like, who did I? but you have to realize, like, they signed up for whatever reason. They might have just wanted one thing, and now they're gone. That's fine. So yeah. But I engage weekly, and it's helped me grow, and I get more emails from my readers that way. Like, they get to see what I'm up to every week, because I have a lot going on now. Whereas before, like, sending them out monthly worked better for me. But now it's like I had like 2 audio releases this month, and then I'm always supporting other authors. So I always have like other new releases in my newsletter. So even if I'm not releasing a book, I have suggestions from them on who else is releasing a book. And then,
nice.
you know, that's
I love that about
your books. Like, these people are voracious readers. They read every single day. So what can you offer them that's not just me? Right. So that's important to me too. But obviously want to keep it in your brand. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Did you build up your audience just from 0 to 20,000 people on her newsletter to or I mean, honestly, did you buy any? Because you know how you buy some, and it's okay if you did. I mean, I'm just
no, and this
is tell me that you did, because I don't have 20,000 people. Okay.
No, that leads me to a very good tip, and I believe in organic growth so much.
Okay.
Because at the beginning, I did make some mistakes on certain giveaways that I would be part of that maybe had nothing to do with my brand, but I was thinking numbers. I was thinking I want to grow my newsletter, but guess what? None of those people opened my email after that. And you know what? You pay for those numbers. You pay for every single subscriber on your list. So you don't want wasted, you know, people that are just sitting there never reading your letter, or, you know.
Good.
So to me, organic is a slow grow. I'm all about the slow grow, just like I'm all about the slow burn in my romance novels. I'm all about having organic slow growth, where there's other people who would rather pay to play, and they'd rather spend a ton of money in all these places to have huge numbers and huge audiences. And I mean, it works for some, but it's a lot of wasted money and I don't have that type of capital to just throw out there and hope that things work. So I have to be very cautious with how I'm spending my money and the time I'm putting into things. So yeah.
And we've heard too from other people that, you may pay for these subscribers or, people to follow you or whatever media you're working with, whatever medium you're working with, but it doesn't translate always into book sales. So it's a lot of effort to not get the result.
So the slow growth works much better for that. It keeps you locked in. Well, we have like 4 more minutes. I need 2 more tips because I just admire you so much.
Yeah. And my last one was really all about just, you don't have to do everything alone, and just remember that. Self-publishing is like a lot and you can feel like it's a very lonely thing. So my 4th tip is just smart promo and cross promo. And I think I talked a little bit about this but it's mostly about like networking with people who relate to your brand, so that you can help other authors and they can help you in return. And you're also feeding your audience and rewarding them. So that's that.
Like you right here with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why we created this, is just so we have, networking, but also just, partnership. You need that when you're writing. So, a team, you need to feel like, anyway.
And you don't have to take everybody's advice. Like I tell people, listen to everything, but take what you want out of it and what works for you. So.
Okay.
That's
now
great
we're
advice.
4.
And then 4 was, just smart promo and cross promotion. And then 5 is smart advertising. So I talked a little bit about like pay to play. Like you can spend a ton in advertising that works for people. It really works. For me, I don't like doing that. So again, I'm more of a slow grow and organic growth, and I'm trying to build my audience that way. But
you do a lot of giveaways, right? And stuff like that. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Do a lot more, but I do them. I try to. I always order extra books and I do giveaways like that for like signed paperbacks. I try not to give away money anymore. There's just so many scammers out there now trying to take your audience and spam them with things. So I try to stay away from that. Or I try to do the giveaways in closed groups. And that works a lot better for me. So. I told you my tips can be so long-winded, so I have to.
No,
there's just
I think it was perfect.
Wonderful stuff. No, it's awesome. Thank you so much. I can always go back and re-listen to this, which I have a few times, and I will on this one for sure, because you're amazing. But it is just it boggles my mind how well you promote. You just
Before we end though, please tell us about the book that's coming out next month.
So this whole year I've been working on 4 books that I'm releasing like every 3 to 4 months. So the first book that I wrote this year was Weight of Regret. So it's a second chance. They're all like camp romances. So it takes place at this family camp. So they're 4 brothers. That one's Anderson, the oldest brother. This is the book I just released, Some Moments in Time. They're all very hot men.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're getting them.
Well, thank you.
Their second chance romance. So Jameson works in Seattle now, but he is back at the camp, and he ran into his like ex-best friend who now works as a spicy dancer. So anyway, but it's a very like emotional story at the same time. And then this one I'm working on right now is called Heart of Stone. And this is a very troubled brother who has a lot of work to do on himself.
How are you working on it? And you've already got the title and the cover already done.
And the book. It's a whole book.
They're called Bakerbacks.
Bakerbacks?
Yeah, different. So if you ever want,
tell us what that means. Tell us what that means.
Paperback it's a paperback but created with a different book inside. That way I can order just a copy of the book so I have it for marketing, because it takes so long. Like, I do finish the book, it's going to take so long for Amazon to send me my copy. So,
Yeah. So it's just one of your other books on the inside?
yep. So
Wow,
like,
that's a huge trick.
yeah.
Because then you can do promos, you can do videos and all kinds of like pictures.
I did the same thing. I put them on and I just,
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, mine isn't professional like that. So I didn't know you could actually do that. How did
Well,
you just,
I go through Barnes and Noble and you can do personal copies there.
Okay.
So anyone can.
very interesting. Look how much we've learned here, guys.
Good. I'm glad.
Oh God. Well, I know we're coming to the end here, right? And so I just, yeah, we could talk forever. Seriously.
I know. I can talk a lot. I'm so bad. You have to contain me on these things.
No, you're
Oh,
amazing. We are
perfect.
bombing you with stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, it looks like we are out of time, and we just want to thank you so much, KK, for joining us on this episode. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate that you're willing to join us in our venture, and we want to promote you and your books. And we love that you're very collaborative with other authors. That works just in the same line of what we're wanting to do. You can find the Virgin Authors here on Facebook Live on the third Thursday of every month. You can find more information about each of the Virgins on our website at virginauthors.com. Please support us all on social media, check out our individual websites, and sign up for our newsletters. And then join us back here on September 15th as we kick off our fall schedule with 4 new guests on the show. And we're just so thankful that we have people coming on every month and we have bonus episodes. And we appreciate everybody who shows up to listen to us and support our program.
And
Thank
follow
you
KK.
so much.
Follow KK. You're amazing. I mean, you've
Yeah.
got just so entertaining to follow you.
It
Yes.
means a lot. And I love like talking to you guys. So
Thank you
No,
so much. Okay, well, have a great night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.